I'm live. Check it out. This is so fun. Okay, still getting it squared away here. Let me see if I got Facebook on live. Yep, that's looking like that's coming on live too. All right. I'm so excited. Okay, very excited because this is, here I am. I'm here. So, again, I'm not sure where I'm looking. This is just crazy fun. Okay, you guys. So I am Miss Peck, and I am here in my new homeroom studio classroom, video studio classroom, I guess you want to call it. And I decided to host this 3:00 homeroom every day for students to learn more about me and what's happening with my 31-day Smart Start Challenge. So this is the first day. I'm kind of excited, and it's a little short. I'm going to try and keep them maybe 10 minutes long, something like that. And really just kind of give a little bit of information, things to think about for the day, and of course, encourage you to get on my program and hire me to be your coach. But let's get this started first up. So I decided to do this program because I have had many students in my classroom who struggle and just don't seem to know where to go. It's almost like they're just lost. It's frustrating. I know that things have happened in the past. There's been bad experiences at school or maybe problems at home. Lots of different things can go wrong in a person's life when they're growing up. And I'm a mom, and I was a single mom raising my daughter, and she's since graduated from college and gone off into her world. And so I really have reached the point of I need almost to have more kids. It's kind of a strange thing. At school, I have 150 students every year, but I don't really get to know them that well personally. Or we develop relationships just talking about English. That's what I teach. I have freshmen. And, I'm supposed to focus on English. I'm not supposed to focus on things like personal growth, things like your vision for the future, how to make your dreams come true, how to decide what it is you want to do, and really figure out what's going on with school and how to get past that. And so I put together this 31-day challenge, and it's a little bit of personal growth. It's a little communication. It's a little conflict resolution and problem solving. We talk about negotiations, and there's lots of different topics to talk about every day for 31 days. And by going through this challenge and working with me through these exercises, I am confident that you will have a better sense of where you want to be in the future, of what kind of things interest you and what you might be interested in pursuing as a career or as an entrepreneur. There's lots of options out there with that as well. And really, I just want to turn the world on, because I see students that just struggle, and it's like they don't know how to get out of it. So of course, the problem is that people are afraid or ashamed to admit they have a problem. And so, that first recognizing that you do need some help is the first challenge or the first hurdle that people really have to get past, because it does take a little bit of humility to say, I could be doing better than I am. And it's something that is inside you that you're gonna have to kind of acknowledge and say, this I could do so much better. And if that is true, then I have a million different things to share with you, because I want you to be the strongest and the most productive person that you can be. And, that's really in me as to what motivates me to do this challenge. So today I decided I want to take a little bit of history and a little bit of biographies from people. I teach English at school. I'm also certified for social studies, and I've traveled around the world. And I really believe that history repeats itself, and that we can learn from things and people that have come before us. So today I decided to start this off with Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali is an interesting person from history. And a little bit of background on him and part of why the story captured me today. Today actually is the anniversary of a boxing match that he had in 1975. It was called the Thriller in Manila, or the Thrilla in Manila. And back in the day in 1975, so that's 45 years ago. The story really though starts before that, because Muhammad Ali was a African American man here in America. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and he always was an athlete. He was always his story. He says he always was getting into fights, even when he was a 5-year-old on the playground. And that he just always knew he was going to be the winner. He was going to be a champion. There was no stopping him. He had that in his spirit. And so he actually, at a very young age, I think he was 22 years old, fought and made his way to the Olympics and won a medal at the Olympics in 1960 for boxing, and an unbelievable turnaround for a young man at the time. And again, this was during race relations and a time in American history when African American people were not considered the equals that they are, and that a lot of history, a lot of problems were happening during those days of the 60s. Also, as it turns out, then America went to war in Vietnam, and the draft was happening. And so young men were being forced into the army and sent over to Vietnam. And Muhammad Ali in 1967 decided that he was not going to go be drafted, that he was not going to fight and be a soldier in Vietnam. And so of course, the police arrested him because draft dodging was a crime at the time. And the Olympic Committee stripped his gold medals from him, and the boxing league as well stripped him of his championships. He was a world champion at the time, because he was just not going to go into the war. And he said it was against his religion, and that he didn't believe the politics was that America shouldn't not be in Vietnam. And so he said, there's people dying in Louisville. Why should I go kill people in other parts of the world when we have our own problems here that we need to solve? So very strong position for him to take, and really risked it all, put it all on the line, and truly lost everything. It took almost 4 years for the court cases to make their way up. He actually went to the Supreme Court, as it turned out. I did some research on this today to get my facts together. And the Supreme Court, by that time, the war was ending, and the politics of the country had shifted, and that a lot of people agreed with him that we should not be at war in Vietnam. And they let him come back into boxing. They decided to let him box again. And so now I'm up to the story of 1972, 73, and that Muhammad Ali had not boxed for 4 years. And so this fight with Joe Frazier in 1975 was this really big comeback fight, because Joe Frazier at the time had become the champion, and he was very popular, and everybody was Joe Frazier. And yet everybody that had loved Muhammad Ali and everything that he had been through wanted Muhammad Ali to win the match. It turned out the match went 14 rounds of unbelievable. It was a slugfest until one of them finally got the knockout. And so Muhammad Ali won that championship and started to regain his titles and regain that championship belts and titles that he always had. So one of his phrases was that he was going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And that just is such an appropriate statement for me today, and what I want to kind of put out to all of you, of this sort of, we've got to float around these situations and really float like the butterfly and really take things easy. But at other times when it gets hard and stuff goes down, you've got to be able to sting like the bee. And so Muhammad Ali, My Day in History, was that thriller in Manila 45 years ago today. Um, so other end of the story, if you don't know, Muhammad Ali unfortunately had this horrible disease called Parkinson's, and deteriorated his body and his mind, and he unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago in 2016. He still is considered one of the greatest athletes of all time, obviously one of the best boxers of all time. He was a huge public figure and spent a lot of time being the activist for the African American people and a lot of race relations during the 70s and the 80s. He also had a quote that said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." So again, that's another quote from Muhammad Ali for today, is this sort of, it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little work now, but when you put in the work today, you can pay off and be then the champion for the rest of your life. So those are some thoughts that I had for today, and a little bit of information about me and where I'm coming from. And my 31-day Smart Start Challenge is starting now. So if you are interested, please send me an email to Kirsten at askmisspeck.com. It's KIRSTEN at askmisspeck.com, or go visit the website askmisspeck.com, or send me a message here, send me a message through Facebook, all sorts of places. I'm trying to get the word out, getting this launch started. So this is my first homeroom. Thanks for coming, and a little bit of history here from boxing world. And things, again, back to, as much as things change, they still are happening today. We still are having race relation issues. We're still having, what would I say, political issues as to which way is the country going to go, and how can we get through this as Americans. And at the end of the day, this is all going to work out because we are champions. And so I hope that you will join me in the next 30 days or 31 days of my challenge. So thanks a lot for listening. And like Muhammad Ali said, let's go out and float like a butterfly and sting like the bee. So thanks a lot. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and send me a message, okay? Bye.